Hi, I'm Chris Jones, Technical Director at WorkRite. Welcome to another WorkRite webinar. Today we've got a slight mix-up and we've got Ellie Hale with us today talking about how WorkRite can help SMEs. Ellie started at WorkRite in 2014 and has quickly established herself as a key member of the WorkRite team. She's responsible for the growth and development of the WorkRite division in London and the South East and has unearthed a number of common themes in the SME market when discussing our e-learning. She's keen to share that with you today. Ellie, prior to WorkRite, was working in business development in Sydney and has a law degree which has given her a solid understanding of the legal obligations employers have to their staff with regards to health and safety training to remain compliant. Our offering, and particularly our suite of course subjects, is hugely influenced by our customer feedback. So if you've got any particular questions or course suggestions that aren't covered today, please either leave a message in the bottom right hand of your screen where you'll see a questions tab, or get in touch with Ellie after the webinar has ended and she'll be able to answer any of those questions directly. So Ellie, without further ado, over to you.
Thank you. All right guys, thanks for joining me today. I'm going to talk to you about my experience with SMEs and how, since being with WorkRite for the last year, I've seen how installing WorkRite's helped their businesses. We've developed the WorkRite system to help companies of all sizes, so I'm going to chat about SMEs specifically and how we've helped our SME clients improve their health and safety training and assessment procedures. So I'm logged into our demo site today. Everything to do with our system is completely customizable to your companies and how you want them to look. So up here in the left-hand corner, we'd have your logo. We've got all the administration links here on the left, the reports, which I'll go into later, and the quick links on the right. One major concern that I found SMEs face is lack of resources. So how are you supposed to ensure your company's compliant with your health and safety training when you don't have a health and safety team behind you? Often our clients from SMEs don't have a health and safety department or a dedicated health and safety professional. And so often it's the responsibility that falls under other job titles like facilities or HR or the office manager to take overall responsibility for health and safety. So how do you define that competent person to carry out your health and safety obligations as an employer when you've got a smaller workforce? There is literally so much I could talk about how WorkRite could help and what we offer. But just for the purposes of this webinar, I'm going to give you a brief overview of some solutions that I've seen really help businesses. We look to help our SME clients in a number of ways. The first is with our off-the-shelf courses. So you can see all of our courses listed here. Like I said, this is our demo site, so at the moment you can see the status of these courses as if I'm logged in as an end user as well as administrator. So we've got one of our new ones, anti-bribery and anti-corruption, asbestos awareness, AssessRite, which is our DSE training and assessment, conflict resolution, COSH, the Data Protection Act, driver awareness, environmental awareness, equality and diversity, FeelRite, which is our stress awareness course I'll go into in a bit more detail, FireRite, fire awareness, HandleRite, our manual handling, home workers, MobileRite for those staff that are out on the move, new and expectant mothers, office health and safety awareness, and then the same specifically for line managers, another new course, our personal travel safety, and slips, trips and falls. All of these courses are customizable and tweakable to fit your business model, really. We can make text changes to fit in with your company culture and just to make it a good fit for you. Our suite of courses is ever growing, and we've got 5 new courses that are currently under development and due for release. Some of our clients just have 1 or 2 courses to help them out with their health and safety needs. But others, and increasingly more and more actually, of our SMEs are opting for an access all areas pricing option. You buy the number of licenses for the number of staff that you have, and that gives you complete access to our whole suite of courses. So they're really using WorkRite as a complete health and safety training portal. So now, using DSE training and assessment as a key example of employers' health and safety obligation, it's often hard to ensure that training records are up to date and that you remain compliant when you're relying on just one or two trained DSE assessors to complete workstation assessments throughout an entire company, this is just time consuming and it's difficult to keep track on. I had a meeting with a potential client last week who was just a site manager for a financial institute, and the DSE training and assessment fell under his remit as part of his job role. They had 200 staff spread across 3 locations. And during our meeting, he worked out that 40 of his working days a year was spent on DSE compliancy. Now that's a hell of a lot of days. And when you work out his day rate, it equates to a lot of money as well. So he was just chasing his tail around multiple locations to conduct face-to-face assessments and was struggling to stay on top of it and remain compliant. So he's now looking at our AssessRite course as a real option. So our flagship course, AssessRite, has been developed to save you time and resources. So what you're going to do is get your staff to train through these segments here. They then take a test to prove that they're a competent self-assessor of their own workstation. And I'm just going to briefly go through some of our slides, just so you get a feel for the course. There's some level of interactivity here just to stop it becoming a click-through exercise. And it's just letting your staff know why DSE training is important. Why is good posture important? Here you can include a hyperlink, just as an example of how we can tweak it and make the courses more personable. We can put a hyperlink in here if you've got a standardized chair throughout. So your staff are actually adjusting the chair they're sat on while they're doing their training. And so on. Clicking through. If anybody's interested in taking a closer look at any of our courses, I'll gladly set up guest logins for you guys after. You then take a test. Now this is your audit trail. This is your proof that your staff are competent self-assessors of their own workstation. If there are any questions that are answered incorrectly, your staff will be given the right answer here. Again, just reaffirming that they know what they're talking about and they're able to assess their own workstation. And they then take an assessment. So it's good to point out here that with WorkRite, one license per person, but as many assessments as you need. So what we're finding with SMEs is there's often multiple locations and multiple workstations. So here you can take a number of assessments for the same employee to cover those different locations. So WorkRite is a great tool to standardize your training regardless of location. And because it's hosted by us, there's no need to worry about that. So there's minimal impact on your IT departments. So why would you host face-to-face training for smaller offices or staff in remote locations when it's much more efficient and cost-effective to have e-learning in place? I'm just going to take you through and show you the assessment here. We pride ourselves on saving you time when it comes to DSE training and assessment, and so there'll be lots of automations involved. Lots of potential issues will be closed off automatically by the way that your staff answer the questions and the advice that's given. So, for example, your Health General, do you experience head, neck, or backache while working at your computer, which you think may be associated with its use? Never. That issue will be closed off in the system automatically. Sometimes you may want to be notified of this. You may want an email to go out to the relevant person, perhaps a line manager. Often that's an issue that you're definitely going to want to know about. And so that will be raised when you come to do your reports and also shown on your homepage. We can also include hyperlinks to HR policies and procedures. Again, personalising it. So your health eyes. Have you been advised of your entitlement to iron eyesight testing? Yes. There you go. There's your audit trail. You've asked the question and your staff member knows of their entitlement. No, you can just handle that simply with a link to the HR iron eyesight policy. So with that in mind, and showing you how you're only going to be notified of the issues as they arise. Here we go. This is shown to you in a simple pie chart top users with issues, and the total number of outstanding issues for which you're responsible. You can just click on that number there, and it'll take you through your staff members, your users, and the issues that have arisen as a result. So it's only going to flag up issues that need your direct attention, as most of the issues are self-resolved or sent straight through to the most appropriate person, such as I don't have a separate keyboard, that could go straight through to IT. And also in aiding automation and saving you time, you can add bulk notes, you can change statuses, you can export to Excel, you can email the selected users, and this is all done from a central point. Just want to go back to the home page and show you here. If we just click on House Demo, this fellow that's got 4 issues, here in a snapshot you can see every test that's been taken, all of the assessments. You can make notes here. Just going to click on the assessment here. Bear with me 1 sec. Here we go. As you can see, straight to the top are the issues that you need to work on. This little icon here, this little post-it note, can show you that there have been notes made on the system. And as you're handling issues, you make your notes. They're time and date stamped and uneditable. So it's your complete audit trail here when handling with the issues. So you might not have a training manager that's dedicated to ensure relevant training's been carried out, but the WorkRite management system is designed to be a portal for your health and safety training records. It also provides automatic email reminders here and a retraining function, and it is offering you a permanent audit trail for all your health and safety training. Also wanted to show you the reports, how in a snapshot you can find out information on your training. We have 3 levels of access to the system: the client administrator, which is the kind of top level access, student, but we also have mid-level, which might be line managers. We find lots of SMEs delegate tasks to line managers, and it's line managers' responsibility for health and safety training, and the system aids you in that. It allows responsibility to be assigned to specific individuals, which can easily be evaluated. You can easily see the data there, and you can see if a particular line manager has dealt with a certain issue. So I want to see all of my users using the system. You can also drill it down to specific department, say, or location. Add these filters, just drilling down to find the information that you want. You can also, in a snapshot, see the status of assessments, see where you are with that. For, say, the DSE assessment, you can apply that filter. And again, you can drill it down to a specific question or section of the assessment, have your staff divvied up into course groups. So pretty much find out any information you need. And all of these reports can be saved and scheduled, emailed straight into your inbox on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, however you want. You can also put this information in Excel, CSV, and PDF. There's a whole number of reports that I can show you. I'm not going to take you through all of them now. You can also have a complete overview of the system as well as administrator. So the system is intuitive and it's easy to use. However, we can also offer a managed service whereby we'll roll out this system to your staff and solve any of the highlighted issues, as we've shown here. We can collate those reports for you, and by outsourcing the management of it, it will free up more time for you and resources. so you can handle business critical and high priority tasks. For our SME clients that choose to manage the system themselves, we can also offer an overload service where our consultants will spend time resolving those outstanding issues in the form of sending advice via email, or we can provide on-site training and specialist assessments. In addition, we can take over complete administration for a period of time if you need us to. Manual handling and fire awareness are also popular courses for the SME market, and it's suitable for training those staff that are in a low-risk environment. Some SMEs choose to offer their staff a blended approach to their training with online and face-to-face training. I've recently been running a case study project, and from that I gathered a quote from Sam Walsh from SA Law, which I wanted to read to you as it quite nicely points out how we helped. Prior to WorkRite, we did our manual handling and fire training face-to-face in the classroom. We were also spending time and money training people to conduct face-to-face DSE assessments and to then report any resultant issues. It was resource loaded. For us, time is a vital consideration when it comes to training. With WorkRite's e-learning, people can do their training to suit themselves with no time wasted chasing people and no money spent hiring training or booking spaces for training days. We set up our training system to be automated with the help of our WorkRite account manager, which means we barely have to do a thing. The product keeps evolving and we're pleased at how easy the system is to access. I wanted to take you through our manual handling course just quickly. We call it HandleRite. Take your staff through controlling the risks, making sure your staff are aware of the risk factors to do with the task, the load, the individual, the environment. Another example here, teaching your staff good handling technique. The level of interactivity here. There you go. I don't have a good handling technique. Need to work on that. Get a firm grip. There we go. That's better. And with all of our courses, there's a test on the end. So it's not just you providing training, it's also a complete audit trail, as I've said before, proving that your staff have taken their training, undergone their training, and then taken a test, proving their understanding of that training. Just want to take you back to FireRite, our fire awareness course. Teaching your staff the basics, the triangle of fire, how fires burn. Though some of it may seem common sense, it's important that your staff undergo this training. The legal responsibilities as an employer. And fire courses and prevention. That level of interactivity. Okay, taking you through electrical fire, adapters, and so on. As I said, I can set up guest logins if any of these courses appeal and you want to look at them in more detail. I mentioned earlier that often SME clients find that responsibility falls onto the line managers in lieu of a health and safety team to make sure that the training's carried out. We have our office health and safety awareness courses for your staff as well, which is I kind of like to look at it as an overview of health and safety. It covers a little bit of everything. So the musculoskeletal disorders and DSE, there's slips, trips and falls, electrical safety, fire safety, manual handling and COSH, welfare specific requirements, and again a test at the end. But we also run this course specifically for line managers, which is really helpful to our SME clients. And there's an extra section there including risk assessment, which is really helpful when some managers perhaps don't really know how to carry out their responsibility with health and safety for their staff and those people they're responsible for. It's also important in reducing the number of staff that are off sick. SMEs are productive and hardworking, but with a smaller workforce, it means that any absences are perhaps noticed more quickly and can put a greater strain on the workforce. So with regards to DSE, WorkRite will highlight problem cases and allow early intervention, which in turn will increase the likelihood that you're able to prevent long-term sick leave among your workforce. It's a more proactive approach to health and safety, and we're moving more into wellbeing courses as well. And a course that is proving really popular with our SMEs is Feel Right. This is our stress awareness course, and it's been really well received by our clients and by their staff. We're really careful not to diagnose stress in this course, but it's more making your staff aware of stress and things that they can do themselves, maybe coping mechanisms in the workplace. So it's not only helpful, it also has a feel-good factor, showing that you care about your staff, their physical well-being and also their mental well-being. Some tips for home life, making sure that they switch off at the end of the day, and in turn can lead to a more productive workforce. We also do much bespoke work for our clients, and lots of SMEs are finding that they can no longer justify hours out of the office and limiting productivity to hold face-to-face inductions for new starters. So many of our clients have asked us to develop a bespoke induction package for them, providing new members of staff with all the information they need to carry out their new role, but without the need to book meeting rooms or training space or hire outside trainers, and take existing staff away from their roles to carry out the induction, and that's proving really popular. And as well as our e-learning courses, we've also have our enablement department. We offer dyslexia screeners for those who may require it, and we can support the findings of that with our enablement team. It's a really simple online dyslexia screener which your employees can complete in just a few minutes. The screener focuses on 6 key areas and immediately generates a report when the user completes it, which can help you understand whether they're having any problems as a result of dyslexia or any other difficulties. And it can also give you an overview of the employee's strengths and weaknesses, an ideal tool for evaluating where your employee might be best focused in the future. So I've kind of given you a whistle-stop tour of WorkRite and how some key examples of how we've helped SMEs. There is so much detail I could go into, and I hope I've not rambled on too much. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you found some of it interesting and helpful. I'll be in touch with you all in case you want any of the courses explained in more detail, or like I said, logins to trial them yourselves, and I'd welcome any feedback.
Thanks very much, Ellie. That was very interesting. And we have had a couple of questions that have come in during the during your talk, which I'm hoping you'll be able to give some good answers for.
I'll try.
So the first one relates to how long it would take for a standard implementation to get up and running. So if someone was to place an order, how long would it typically take to implement?
Well, the kind of process that we follow when you agree to taking on the software is we'll send you some import and implementation documents with all of the information that we need to get you set up. So all of the where you're split up in departments, your staff's email addresses. As soon as you get that back to us, that's kind of the bit that takes most of our clients the most time. You might need a few days to get all that information together. But from then on, it's generally 2 weeks from implementation we can roll you out. And we do it to time it with when's best for your business.
Excellent, thanks, Ellie. And the only other question we've got today is, can you develop bespoke courses to directly reflect our implementation training, also the customer's implementation training? Or I'm guessing
Induction training?
implementation, I mean induction.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. As I just mentioned, we can do that, and we often do. That's becoming a bigger and bigger part of our business, the bespoke work that we do. And if anyone's got an idea of something that they'd want us to do, you can send us that in a PowerPoint, and I'll give it to development to get you a quote on it.
Super, excellent. Well, that sort of brings us nicely to a close, and we're also running out of time. So I hope everyone has a lovely weekend. I hope the weather holds off if it is already, if it's sunny in your area as well. And we will see you next month. Many thanks.